what happened going into January is that there was really a snapback into this dour mood of what direction our country is headed. And so it's some of the worst numbers we've seen in months of right direction versus wrong track. And even Biden's image has slipped a lot in the past month or several months. And so that's really leading to a place where Republicans are starting to pick up, as you mentioned, this momentum, this trend in their favor. We're down by the least amount with female voters on a generic Republican ballot that I've seen in probably the last year. We've closed the gap with college-educated voters. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact it's not as much about Trump as it is about Biden. And this is something that makes 2024 very different than 2020, is that Biden is no longer this kind of bland vanilla ice cream guy hiding in a basement against a very defined Trump, where people have incredibly strong opinions one way or the other of him. And you're starting to see that his Biden's failure as president is starting to bear out in places like, as you mentioned, immigration is really just surging, almost like these folks surging across the border.
2/3 of respondents said that they support deporting people in the country illegally. Wow. Walk me through where that goes down. How, is it in terms of how is it party driven? Is it ideologically driven?
Yeah, I'm glad you had us put this question on here because, we asked another question, which is, do you think Republicans should shut down the government in order to shut down the border? And that one actually came back with, don't shut down the government, which was a bit surprising. And then when we frame it in this way of deportations, we even get 50% of Democrats who agree with deporting illegal immigrants who have come to America illegally, which was the most surprising number to me. And it's only Democrats that drive the opposition, which is only 26% of people oppose this, which is basically 40% of Democrats driving all of that. And so you've got, 80% of Republicans, 70% of independents who are saying deport illegal immigrants. And, anytime you're looking at a survey and you're trying to figure out what's going to happen, look at what the independents are doing on the key questions. And I consider this a key question because we've now got illegal immigration at 20% and inflation and economy at 30%. And so this has really skyrocketed as an issue. And I've seen this happen in all of the 60-something surveys we've done so far this month, where this issue has really risen to the top in Republican primaries and general election surveys. And these independents are looking a heck of a lot more like Republicans. And if you think back to 2016, Donald Trump ran on Build the Wall. This is not the first time that illegal immigration is an issue. And I guarantee there's a heck of a lot more folks streaming across the border now than there was in 2016 when Donald Trump was saying that we need to build the wall. And so these 70% of independents saying deport illegal immigrants, that's a really big problem for Biden.
Well, I've got 30 seconds left, Brent. And I think the other number that popped out at me is 64% support militarizing the southern border. Wow.
Yeah, almost no change among Democrats here. The only difference between deport them and militarize the border is that there's a little bit of a shift among independents. About 8% of independents shave off of support into oppose, but it's still 2/3 of independents that support militarizing the border. So I think this really shows that Americans are sick of what we're doing now.
Yeah.
And it's not close the border, but it's definitely do whatever is necessary to stem this tide.